Hey guys, this is Fuller. Welcome to the Death Knight, a full hero spotlight. We've got some animations too. Let's get straight to it. The hero is Arthas Menethil, the fallen paladin. He's the most iconic and infamous Death Knight out there. For themes, the primary one is death, drawing on the power from minions dying on the battlefield. Undead, a new tribal race like hunters, warlocks, demons and beasts. Weapons are a big role, particularly powerful rune blades. Plagues tying deadly eruptions onto minions, some anti-magic resisting spells and their effects, ice and frost from the chilling north. The hero power remains raise dead, summon a 1/1 ghoul with charge that dies at the end of your turn. It's similar to mages and paladins hero power. You can deal 1 damage by attacking straight away, but you can't build a board with this. We have it animated, here it is. Starting with the minions, we got a lot of new ones. These are all the ones in the starter set. Firstly, Skeleton Commander. 1 mana, 1/1, death rattle. The next undead you play gains +1/+1. Similar to Dragon Concert, the first undead you play afterwards gains the bonus, even if it's several turns later. Your hero power is unaffected though. Like other 1-drops, it gives you some board presence early on, with some extra value added on, letting you make a much stronger play later on in the Scourge theme. On to Ebon Champion.
We exist only to serve him.
4 mana, 3/5, has +3 attack if a minion died this turn. So he's 6/5 as long as a minion has died that turn. Goes really well with your hero power. You can use it to suicide goals to empower him. You can compare him to Water Elemental, Piloted Treader and other good 4-drops. He's a very solid and mid-range minion of the class. This one's an oldie, it's Flesh Golem.
Flesh and blood.
6 mana, 4/5, death rattle, add 2 random undeads to your hand. Remember, a lot of neutrals are now undead, so a lot of possible minions to draw. Similar to Web Spinner, it can generate some card advantage, slowly overwhelming your opponent with the endless swarm of the Scourge. Now the basic legendary, it's the Lich King.
The light has abandoned you.
10 mana, 5/15, Battlecry, destroy your hero and replace it with the Lich King. You get Frostmourne equipped, we'll get more to that later. A brand new hero power, Dominate, lets you gain control of an enemy minion until end of turn, like Shadow Madness. Overall, this card is very similar to Draxus, upgrading your hero, resetting your health to 15. We have it animated, here it is.
Before your king.
On to the weapons, and as you know, Death Knights love their rune blades. First up, Unholy Rune Blade. 4 mana, 4/2, Battlecry, silence a minion. Like True Silver and Deathbite, very solid with a strong ability. I imagine all Death Knight decks would probably run 2 of these. It also happens to be a complete and total Piloted Treader destroyer. Next up we have Shadowmourne, 3 mana, 3/2, death rattle, give your minions +1/+1. So like Coghammer and Power Mace, great in rush decks. A little early removal with a buff up at the end. The Scourge Swarm will consume all. Last one, we saw this with the Lich King, it's Frostmourne. 7 mana, 5/2, whenever this kills a minion, summon a 2/2 Ravenous Ghoul with Taunt. Like Gladiator's Longbow and Gorehowl, it's a slower control weapon than the others. You can clear the board and build up some board presence. So you can run 1 or 2 Frostmournes in your deck as normal, and or run it with the Lich King legendary, it's up to you. Here it is, animated.
Frostmourne hungers.
Alright, onto the spells, starting with damage and removal. Theme-wise, remember we're leaning towards plagues and diseases. Firstly, Death Coil, 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it's a friendly undead, restore it to full health instead. Like a blend of Ancestral Healing and Smite, but you can only target minions, you can't go face with this. Useful for early removal or healing undead minions. Next up, Corpse Explosion, 2 mana, choose a minion, when it dies deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. You can target friendly or enemy minions, it always damages your enemies. Like a Consecrate, great with your hero power and Death Rattle minions especially. Here's a similar kill spell, it's Blood Boil, 2 mana, choose a minion, when it dies destroy a random enemy minion. Kinda like a Deadly Shot, a little bit cheaper, but you do need to combo it with a suicidal minion. The blood erupts from the victim, killing something else. Now some life gain as well, Blood Strike, 4 mana, deal 3 damage, restore 4 health to your hero, so in between Drain Life and Holy Fire, it's the 4 mana damage spell of the class, deals a chunk of damage with a bonus added on. Last one, I wanted the class to have at least one big 10 mana spell, Death and Decay, deal 5 damage to all enemies, like a much bigger, scarier Consecrate, gives a big board clear whilst dealing moderate damage to the enemy hero as well. With Farazan it can come out earlier. Malagos of course would be hilarious, nothing could survive that, right? On to Cripple, 2 mana, change a minion's attack and health to 1. A sort of combination of Hunter's Mark and Humility, leaves a minion as easy pickings. We wouldn't happen to have a 1-1 charger to finish it off, would we? Next I got 2 of Amaz's spell. I really liked the way he balanced them, so I borrowed them and kept them exactly the same. Firstly, Death Pact, 2 mana, destroy a friendly minion, restore 2 health to your hero and draw 2 cards. The main card drawer of the class with a little life gain. Good exceptionally well with Nerubian Egg and Sylvanas and even your hero power. The other one is Anti-Magic Shell, 0 mana, give a minion, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers until your next turn. So kinda like Conceal, it's only temporary, but it can protect a vital minion like say a Ragnaros or a Farazan if you don't want it to be killed. Time for some buffs. Since we have a minion generating hero power, the class can certainly use quite a few. Unholy Frenzy, 1 mana, give a minion +4 attack, it takes 1 damage at the end of every turn. Put it on a goal, it can deal 5 damage. Then since it dies anyway, you don't really care about the damage, mostly for rushing down your opponent or trading up into bigger minions. Next up, Cold Embrace, 2 mana, silence a minion, then freeze it and give it +4 health and taunt. The silence stops a goal dying if you choose a goal, it then becomes a shield wall, 1/5 taunt. You can also use it to freeze enemy minions in an absolute clutch situation. Last one, my favourite one, Unholy Might, 5 mana, give a minion, adjacent minions have its attack. So kinda like a Flame Tongue Totem. It's expensive, but if you manage to get this on a high attack minion, it can severely buff up adjacent minions. Remember hero power combos I was talking about? Your goals now have the attack of the big minions every time they spawn beside him. Onto a free spell, it's Frost Strike, 1 mana, freeze a character, draw a card. A control-ish card to delay your opponent while cycling through your deck. Now a summon one, Army of the Undead, 8 mana, summon 3/3/3 zombies. Like Force of Nature but no charge, instead better stats for the cost. Who wants goals when you can have zombies? This one's a little crazy, Despoil, 3 mana, give a minion all other minions death rattles. Kinda like Blood Knight, but for death rattles you can copy them all and place them on whichever minion you want. Death rattles are also common in this meta, so I could see this being run a lot. Time for the expansions. First one, next Ramus. We have Festering Strike, 2 mana, give a minion death rattle, summon 2 1/1 goals for your opponent, then deal 2 damage to it. So corrupt an enemy minion, then chip away at it. If it dies you get a few goals out of it, if not you can kill it after anyways. Win-win situation. Next up we have GVG, a lot of craziness came with this one. First up, Dark Transformation, 2 mana, transform a goal into an abomination or a sludge belcher chosen randomly, so a 1/1 goal becomes a 5 mana minion. With your hero power you get a 1 mana value there. The idea is to combo it with say Festering Strike and others for some big plays. Now a mech, it's Meat Wagon. We need better art for this one. 4 mana, 2/5, whenever a minion dies, give another random friendly mech +1/+1. Could Mech Death Knight work? This lets you destroy a board and buff up your other mechs. Goes well with your hero power too. On to the legendary, it's Terran Gorfiend, 7 mana, 4/5. Battlecry and Death Rattle summon 3 1/1 goals with charge. Originally he was 6 mana, I nerfed him slightly, we've been playtesting him a lot. The goals don't die, so you can instantly start building a board with this guy. Next, Blackrock Mountain, the Dragon expansion. We got Frostworm, 7 mana, 6/7. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, freeze an enemy minion and adjacent minions. So like a cross between Boulder Fist Ogre and Frost Elemental. This one has undergone a lot of changes, now it's an instant effect. Last expansion, here we go. Scourge Necromancer, 5 mana, 4/5. Inspire, summon a random enemy minion that died this game. Kinda like the opposite of Resurrect. This one varies hugely depending on which hero and deck you're up against. Late game, if left untouched, it can be very powerful. Next up, Crypt Fiend, 3 mana, 3/4. Whenever your opponent's hero power is used, summon a 1/1 insectoid. Kinda like an anti-inspire, drawing on the power of your opponent's hero power. Will he dare use it? Now the legendary, it's Darien Mograine. He's got some flashy new art. 7 mana, 4/7. Your weapon is immune. Battlecry, equip a 4/1 Corrupted Ashbringer, so it protects your weapons from Acidic Ooze and Harrison Jones. Any weapons equipped after are also protected. Alright, that's it for this update. A huge monk video is about to come up. I'm trying to get all these animated. I'll leave you with Darien Mograine.
We are eternal. We are unyielding.
Frostmourne hungers.
The darkness is closed within me.